Come in.
Hello.
Dr. Cooper, have a seat.
Thank you.
I called you in today because your assistant, Alex Jensen, has lodged a complaint against you.
So I've been told, but I can't understand what she has to complain about. I would like to offer you my sincerest apology.
Thank you, Dr. Cooper.
Yeah, additionally, you should know that the university has mandated that I take an online sexual harassment seminar. So this sort of thing doesn't happen in the future.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, my time is much too valuable to waste on nonsense like this. So I'm going to need you to take it for me.
Workplace harassment. Harassment is unwelcome or unlawful behavior towards a person or a group of people based on a protected characteristics. And when this unwelcome behavior is performed in a workplace environment, it becomes workplace harassment. Workplace harassment could be of different types. Discriminatory harassment. Here, the victims may face verbal abuse in terms of age, gender, race, religion, etc. Sexist jokes and racial jokes are some of the examples that many people can relate to. Personal harassment. Sometimes bullying isn't illegal, but that doesn't change the fact that it does take a toll on the victims. This is a practice that involves just the bully's satisfaction and no personal grudge towards one person alone. Psychological harassment. This type of harassment is to just create a negative impact on the victim, doing things like opposing or challenging everything the victim says, isolating the victim's presence, spreading rumors about them. Online harassment. Some use online sources to shame their victims by gossip on social media or use mass emails or mass chats to abuse their victims. Retaliation harassment. This type of harassment is why the victims choose silence rather than approaching higher authorities about the problem. The victims are harassed because they took action against their abuser. People seeking revenge tend to inflict more pain on those who reported their abusers. Sexual harassment. Inappropriate sexual touching, inappropriate sexual gestures, invading personal space in a sexual way are some of the most heard and known harassments. Why is it common? What did people do about it? These questions are discussed further in the video.
The next type of harassment is quid pro quo. This is a type of harassment where there is a value given to the victim in exchange of a sexual conduct. In many workplaces, this is also called exchange-based sexual harassment, as there is something given in exchange of the sexual services. For example, receiving a job offer or any kind of promotion. It can also be just blackmailing. Mostly, when job benefits are offered to an employee, then there lies a condition that they partake in some form of sexual conduct. Quid pro quo can either be implicit or explicit. The victim can be directly approached, or any kind of hint can also be given, like, "Don't you want this job?" The next type of harassment is third-party harassment. In third-party harassment, the victim is the employee, who are mostly these new employees or the operational level employees. The harassers are not from the workplace, but rather they're from outside, like for example the vendors, the suppliers, the customers, etc. This is the most unrecognized type of harassment, as it does not have a proper narrative, and this has nothing to do with the inside of the workplace. So the employer doesn't concentrate more on this type of harassment. The last type of harassment is the verbal harassment. It is basically a result of personality conflicts in the workplace, which has gone beyond a casual or disagreement or something which is more serious. It is generally not sexual and often not unpleasant situation in the workplace. Many a times, this type of harassment is unnoticed and unresolved. Examples of verbal harassment is threatening, yelling, insulting, etc.
Why is workplace harassment all about power? 2 reasons: to maintain the power gap and resist any sort of inclusivity from all groups. One of the main reasons for perpetrators to behave the way they do is because of power. But most often, workplace harassment is mistaken as an act of love or lust. However, that is not always the case, and most victims are not always in love and did definitely feel uncomfortable. From a recent article in The Swaddle, a woman agreed to open up about her experiences only on the condition that her name be used as initials, accepted that workplace harassment is everywhere, not just inside her company, but even from her international clients, and described it as a 3-combo discrimination, including sexual, wage, and promotion discrimination. But she never informed any authority or even her own colleagues about this because she did not want to jeopardize her career and said that is not what I want to be remembered for. This woman was close to retiring and had worked with biggest names in the industries and third party clients like the World Bank. And this could be one of the major reasons why the perpetrators harassed her because she was gaining momentum at the zen of her career and they could not digest the fact that a woman her age could still do great. Why sexual harassment is more in workplace for women? Why do we always want to protect our women? Again, two reasons: power imbalance and homogeneous workplaces. Power imbalance between men and women is significantly attributed to the toxic patriarchal systems deep rooted in our country. Recently, in Bollywood, its own Me Too movement began with actress Tanushree Datta accusing Nani Patekar of harassment during the shoot of a song in the 2008 movie Horn Ke Please. But ultimately, what did the Mumbai police say? They claimed all her allegations as false and with malicious intent. Homogeneous workplace means a traditional approach to the organization culture. This includes the very obvious fact that a very low percentage of women are given leadership roles. Take our Indian Parliament, for example. If a woman does get a higher post, then she is likely to be targeted for all the above reasons. It includes also the important role of a culture of difference that is followed widely in our country. In this context, it means the culture of policing women from a very young age. Don't talk to a man like that. Don't keep your legs crossed. Don't talk back to elders. Telling girls how to behave makes us feel passive, and this is one of the reasons why women are scared to open up about their experiences.
Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal Act 2013. So this act can also be called as the Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Act. This act prevents and protects women from any form of sexual harassment in their workplaces. This leads to the realization of the right to gender and equality in workplaces. It also gives a sense of security to women at workplace, which may lead to improvement in their work and thus future growth of women. So the preventive measures taken by the Act are: first, the Act has a mechanism for redressal of complaints. Any aggrieved woman can lodge a complaint in writing of sexual harassment at the workplace to the internal committee of which all the employers are a part of. Then the internal committee shall then look into the complaint and inquire about it and take steps to clear the matter between the aggrieved woman and the respondent through conciliation. The inquiry should be completed within a time period of 90 days. So if in case it is proven that the complaint is false or malicious or any other false evidence, then strict punishment will be taken against the woman who has lodged a complaint. Then companies can also conduct educational programs and e-learning courses to the employees and training sessions for employers within the organization, communicating to them in the primary communication language. And also charging penalties up to 50,000, or even in cases of harsh, it can lead to even 3 years of imprisonment.
This problem of workplace harassment is still persisting in all the workplaces in one way or the other, despite of the preventive measures. The workplaces must ensure a safe environment for the employees, and only then the employment rate will increase, because of which the consumption rate will also increase, and as an effect, the demand and supply of consumer goods will also increase. Solutions for this workplace harassment that we think can be done with each person's individual efforts are: a specialized training to be created for the managers and supervisors. Not only should these managers and supervisors behave impeccably in all the workplaces, they should also be skilled in recognizing when an harassment occurs and making clear that such behavior can't be tolerated under any circumstances. This is attained through training. Also, training is provided to these people so that they will be aware of the complaints and will know how to respond for it.